Hi everyone, my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my December end of the month wrap up, as well as my 2022 end of the year wrap up. So I asked on Instagram if you guys would mind if I just combined the two in a video, because I don't have that many books to talk about for my December end of the month wrap up, but I wanted to still do like statistics, but I feel like both of those videos would be like under 10 minutes. So I just combined them. I'll have timestamps linked in the description box if you want to skip my December wrap up and hear me talk about only the end of the year stuff and how many books I read, because I've read a ton. So with all that being said, I'm going to get into my December statistics. I asked, I think in my December mid-month wrap up, if you guys like the statistics, and a lot of you guys said yes. I think no one said no, that they prefer the statistics because it's something different. So I'm going to still do with my statistics into 2023. So for December, I read a total of 30 books, which is actually the lowest reading month that I had. I'll go through each month in my end of the year statistics, but I read 30 books. 4 were physical, 13 were ebooks, and 13 were audio. As always, I always have my mid-month wrap-up linked in the card, so you can go check out all the books that I read in the first half of December. For a breakdown of star rating for a total of December, I had 9 holiday romances, 4 contemporary romances, 10 fantasy romances, 4 novellas, 1 dark romance, 1 historical romance, and 1 sports romance. For a breakdown of star rating, I had 3 5-star reads, 5 4.5-star reads, 12 4-star reads, 6 3.5 stars, 3 3-stars, and 1 DNF. That's just for the total of December. For the books I read, the first one, actually, I started when my friend Jess from Peace Love Books came to visit me. She came to visit me right, I think it was December 16th. So it was like right after I filmed my mid-month wrap-up. And we decided to buddy read Alaska for Christmas by Jennifer Snow. I didn't know this was a Harlequin novel, like a Harlequin romance novel. So she brought her copy of it because the publisher sent it to her, and we went to a used bookstore. I found this one, so I thought, oh, I'll pick it up and we can buddy read it while we're here. I finished this and I gave it 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed this romance. It was super sweet. It's kind of like watching a Hallmark movie. It really is. Our female character, she is very adventurous. She loves to, I forgot what it's called, but she like climbs ice things like in Alaska, like ice waterfalls. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't really know all about that, but something happens to where she's climbing, she gets to the top, she's like, hell yes, I did it, and she falls, she slips and falls after she takes off all of her gear thinking that she's done, because she's done with like what she thinks is the like dangerous part. She slips and falls and busts her head, not bust her head, but she hits her head and she loses her memory. She doesn't know who she is, she doesn't know her parents, nothing, like she doesn't know anything. And she starts to like find clues to like get her memory back, but she starts having a thing for our main male character, and he's actually the person one of the people who rescued her. He goes and rescues people like if they get stuck on the ice, if they're ice fishing and something happens and the ice breaks, or whatever that may be. And he's always talking about safety, and especially in Alaska, because apparently happens a lot, especially with tourists, because they don't really know what's going on, and they have to get saved. So she starts having a thing for him, but in her like normal life, I guess you can say, she hates him. That's her like nemesis. She thinks he's so annoying and stuff like that. So I find it interesting. It was just really cute and I enjoyed it. I didn't like the ending with the whole like third act breakup kind of thing, but it was still cute. I'll give it that. It wrapped up pretty quickly. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. This is why my December end of the month wrap up was going to be so short, because I read books 1 through 7 of the Zodiac Academy series, and I have a video coming out Friday, so after this video, if you're seeing this Wednesday, where I talk about the whole series of the Zodiac Academy series, my ratings for each one. Like I do basically a series review on that series, and I had fun filming that. That was my first one that I filmed. So I'm really excited for you guys to watch it, but I'm not going to go through my ratings for those books because it's already in that other video, if that makes sense. But I still have 3 books to talk about. The next one is actually my cover to cover book club pick for December. I read cover to cover with Sam from Sam Reads a Little, and reread There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall. I was really excited about this book, and unfortunately it kind of let me down. I gave this 3.5 stars. I was hoping that this would be a lot better in terms of a holiday romance, because it was in Barnes & Noble, because the Audible's on Audible Plus, and I did listen to Along Came Holly, which is also by Cody Hall, I think at the end of November or the very beginning of December. And I also gave that one 3.5 stars. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the writing. It's just these books are really long and it doesn't need to be that long. This is a single dad romance and I really honestly don't remember too much. All I know is that like she runs a Christmas tree farm, or her family does. In the farm's new foreman comes and he's a single dad. And he has a past with his baby mama drama, and she comes back too. And that's all I remember. We had a live show and we talked maybe 10 minutes about this book because neither of us could remember. So all that being said, 3.5 stars. It was okay. Not my favorite, but the cover's cute. I'll give it that. The next book I read was a little novella that I just really wanted to read, and that's Birthday Kisses by Monica James. This is a novella that's a follow-up to A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica James, and I read that book this year, gave it 4.5 stars. I love Ren. I just think that couple is so cute and adorable. I love them so much. So this novella takes place over Christmas. She has a daughter. They're married now. They're like living in their adult life. And it was just 50 pages of just really like an extended epilogue. And I thought it was cute. So I've been wanting to read it. And it was just nice because her birthday's on Christmas too. So you get to see how he takes care of her on Christmas. And I thought it was adorable. And the last book I read in December was The Great Undoing. This book, I was really, really nervous. The first time I read Daisy Hates, which is the second book in the Magnolia Park series, I gave it 4 stars. I reread that beginning of December. I changed my rating to 5 stars. For this book, I am rating it 4.5 stars. And that's a solid 4.5 stars. And the ending makes for it. But I feel like a lot of the things that happen in this book, we kind of see played out in Long Way Home just a little bit, because you have Magnolia and Julian doing their thing. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're doing their thing. Daisy and Christian figuring out their stuff, and Daisy figuring out if she wants Christian back and all of that stuff. Of course, they have a heavy mafia plot, more so in this book, which I personally really enjoyed. I can't really say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but that ending got me. Oh man, and I was just like, I need the next book. And I don't know when the next book is coming out, which I think is supposed to be BJ and Magnolia's last book. And I'm just not ready because I still will not forget Long Way Home. If you read Long Way Home and you know the ending of that, no questions are answered in this book. Literally no questions. It literally happens before the ending of Long Way Home. So I feel like now with the ending of this book, the ending of Long Way Home, we're almost caught up to the same point, if that makes sense. So that's all of the books and statistics for December of 2022. Now I'm really excited to go into my statistics for the whole year. I have my iPad. I spent about an hour this morning going through all of my reading journal, bullet journal thing, making sure my numbers add up. So the total amount of books that I read in 2022 is 465 books. That is my absolute total, including rereads and everything like that. Now, on Goodreads, it says 460, so I'm 5 books off. I refuse to go through my Goodreads and figure out where I messed up, but I did a lot of rereads this year of some of my favorite books, like the Anti-Heroes in Love duet. I've reread twice this year separately. So I don't think that counts. I don't think any SJM book that I reread this year, I don't think it's added in there. I think I reread From Blood and Ash. I reread a couple books and I don't think I put it like the dates in there, so it doesn't count for this year. I'm not going to go back and figure it out. No way, Jose. So Goodreads is pretty accurate with 460, but my bullet journal, because I really do put everything in there, I'm pretty confident that 465 is my actual number, not 460, even though it's 5 books. Whatever. So I'm going to go through each month really quickly. January, I read 48 books. February, I read 41 books. March, I read 44 books. April, I read 38 books. May, I read 39. June, I also read 39. July, I read 34. August, I read 43. September, I read 35. October, I read 38. November, I read 36. And December, I read 30. Now, you can tell towards the end of the year, I kind of tapered off with my reading. And that's just because I need to slow down in 2023. That is one of my big goals for 2023, is to slow down my reading. Because when we get to my star rating, you can see that it really reflected, even though I read a lot of books, they weren't all the best books. And that makes me sad, because as a reader, I love to read good books. I love to have an emotional reaction. I love to have, like any type of reaction, excitement, sadness, anything like that, right? And I love a good love story. And I really, not that I'm looking for the best, it's just I want to read so many books and there's not enough time. And I need to get that out of my head. So I want to slow down, which is what I started to do in December. I slowed down a lot. I did have Jess come visit me, so I really didn't read all too much. It was like 4 or 5 days I really didn't read. I mean, I read 1 book, but usually I can read 5 books in 5 days going at my normal pace. So 465 was my total. Breakdown versus audio, physical, and ebook, which I find interesting. A lot of people ask me, how do you read so much? How do you read so much? I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. I read 197 audiobooks. I read 87 physical books, and I read 181 ebooks. Now, one of the tricks I've figured out this year is that with ebooks, you can have your Echo or Alexa app actually read a Kindle book to you. It's in her voice that's very like robotic, but I've learned that if I need to read something for like a reading vlog and I don't have time to physically read it and there's no audio for it, I can have her do that. So I put that as an ebook, even though I listen to it. That's just because there's only an ebook for it. Sometimes I will listen to the audio while I'm working and then finish up physically or ebook, physical book, whatever, at night when I'm done. So whatever I primarily read the book as, that's what I pick. So if I read half audio, half ebook, if I started audio, I'll count it as an audio. So it's a little bit skewed. Physical books, I don't read that many, only because it's hard to hold. If I can get the ebook for it, if it's free, I won't buy an ebook if I have the physical book. But yeah, those are just a breakdown of, the type of books. Now, breakdown of star rating is actually pretty interesting. And I don't know, I had 105 5-star reads, 77 4.5-star reads, 139 4-star reads, 52 3.5-star reads, 63 3-star reads, 8 2.5 stars, 7 2 stars, no 1.5 stars, 2 1-star books, and I had 12 DNFs. I would say that's pretty good. It's not evenly split, but I want to read good books. You know what I mean? And I feel like towards the end of the year, I started leaning into the 2s and 3 stars a lot more. And I want to kind of like narrow down my rating system, and really actually use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars and really narrow down to where when I make my favorites of the year, I don't have 105 5-star reads to go through. Do you know what I mean? So I want to kind of tailor my rating system a little bit. You can let me know if you want a video on that of how I rate things, because I changed it towards the end of the year. So it's a little bit skewed with those numbers. But if you would like that, let me know in the comments. I don't know if anyone would like that. But I mean, I would like that, but I'm a content creator and I read a lot. So let me know if you guys would like that. But I do have a small breakdown of genre. So I primarily read romance this year. I may have read like 1 historical fiction, 1 horror thriller book, a couple thrillers, maybe a couple YAs, but they're not enough to like count. So what I read is I had 184 contemporary romances, 119 dark romances, 53 historical romances, 39 fantasy romances, 28 novellas, and 81 were other. So another thing that I need to get better at in 2023 is really narrowing down what genres I want to use for these categories, because those others include sports romances, monster romances, paranormal romances, which I probably could loop that with fantasy romances, but I was done calculating a lot of things this morning. So that's just kind of, I know like dark romance is technically considered contemporary romances. I separate them, and there are some contemporary romances on here that some people would include as a dark romance. I don't think it's as dark as some of the other dark romances. I also included my mafia romances in with my dark romances. So if that's like, I started separating it at the beginning of the year from mafia and dark, but then at the end of the year, I just combined them all. So I want to kind of get a better system for what kind of genre that I want to use, or like trope, subgenre of romance, I guess you can say, and really get better of kind of categorizing that. So that is all of my statistics for the end of the year. Yes, 465 books is a lot, but if you read 1 book in 2022, I applaud you for that, for picking up at least 1 book and reading. And that's just great, as well as reading as many books as I did. Now, I do know that's a lot. Please, please, please don't come for me saying, how is that possible? It is possible. I have a job. I have a husband. I do a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Okay, that is all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As for the emoji, drop me a daisy emoji, because I'm looking at Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, and they have daisies in the back. So drop me a daisy emoji, because I really, really love Daisy Hates, so she's amazing. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living an owl life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.